and it started. I just want to, make sure that I'm recording for this because this is important. But I am going to be sharing. All right. Keep in mind, here, I'll just pull this over here. There you go. Now I can see the chat still. It's okay. This is assignment 2. It's relatively easy. This is the rubric. These are really simple. We'll be going over the individual components. This is just a quick overview. These are what's important. These are what you want to pay attention to. Like, genuinely, I will probably give marks in between these, but I will be trying not to, basically. I will be doing my best to use these levels as markers for everything. Can everybody hear me, by the way? Okay. Thanks, Isaac. Sorry, just making sure. I just saw that everyone was still why did I just get an email about my Legion? Okay. I just got an email about my gaming mouse that I bought 2 years ago. It was like, please tell us about your experience. And I'm like, what? What experience? I don't understand it. I don't, it's over there. It's over at my other laptop. It's on my bed. I don't, okay. All right. I see. Okay, but point is, and also I should mention, these for anyone that was worried, these are actually marked as bonus. So, there's no way to get, 10, 15, 17, 22, 27, and then this is 47. So this total points is 52. But actually, in the calculated grade, it's 47. I know because I've tested it. I very much tested it. I've looked into it. Because when I was marking another assignment that I was doing, for one of the other classes, they also had bonus marks. And when I put a 0, it didn't give them and they got 100% on everything else. It didn't give them a 90. It gave them 100. Because it was marked as a bonus. So I just want to make sure that everybody knows that in your final thing, when you get your mark back, you will see that. Also, I don't know if any of you guys have used it before, but here, let's go to a class that I actually have marks in. Artificial intelligence. But if you look at something that you've handed in, why did I go to AI? AI, they don't give rubrics at all. This class. This class. This is Dr. Alvaro. Good teacher. But so if I go, ignore the missing. Ignore the missings. Ignore the things that I don't hand in. Wait, where's the... Okay, assignment 2. Yeah, teachers that don't give rubrics are super fun. But you get, so right here. So if you press on show rubric, I don't know if you guys use this for any of your other classes, but if you guys do this, there will be a breakdown in your thing. There will be a full breakdown. When you get your marks back, there will be a full breakdown. Gavin is very good with that. Gavin gives good rubrics. That's one thing that I will say about Gavin. Gavin is extremely good with his rubrics. And then if you get comments back on it, I believe they'll be here. If you get a comment back. It'll also tell you, I believe, who marked it. Gavin is amazing. You'll have Gavin as your GDW instructor second year. You don't have James. You have Gavin instead. And then you'll also have Gavin for modeling and modeling 2. And I believe those are all the courses that Gavin teaches. But he's fantastic. He is a full-time teacher now, so that's always good. But yes, anyways. Yeah, and if you're wondering why specifically it might be a while for assignment 1, these are all the assignments that were submitted before assignment 1 for essential or for game engine design. So yes, there is a lot to mark. But I will get it all done, and I'm hoping to get your guys' assignments done before the end of at the latest next week. I'm hoping to possibly get a lot done this weekend. I do not have any assignments due this week. I think. I hope. I really hope. I am hope like at the earliest. Well, end of next week is like early. Like it's the 8th. Like I am aiming for like the 8th. Like that's the latest that I'm aiming for. I'm really, really, really trying to aim for that. Like a lot of my classes only had 2 small like individual assignments, and then now we just have group like final assignments that are due like December 4th. So for the most part, I don't have many assignments left. Like, don't have many assignments total left. So I should be having a lot more time now than I was before. Yeah. Should. Keyword should. Anyways. All right. Now we're going to get started on this. There's 27 people here. We're going to get started on the assignment too. I'm sad that not everyone came, but what can you do? I can't like what's the saying? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't force them to drink. So like I made this available, but I can't force people to show up. You know? So if we know we didn't do well, it's possible Dr. Hogue will offer bonus marks on things. And I believe he was, depending on how bad the marks are on the assignment once I'm done marking, there were other things that we were considering, other alternatives to boost grades that we were considering. Those are not like I can't give specifics because they're not like these are things that me and him have talked about as options. But just believe me that we will do our best to make sure that you don't fail. Like that's contrary to popular belief, you know, we don't want you to fail. However, how much is it worth? Honestly, couldn't tell you. 1 second. This will tell you. Dang, he has a organized thing. For real. Here it is. 15%. And this one is 20%. It really does add up, Ricardo. It really does. But if you got like a 50%, that's still 7.5 out of 15. Like that's still, I personally feel that's a good amount. I think you did a good job if you got a 50. And if you read here, if you do all 12 modules, you get 2% bonus on your grade. No, you're right, Ricardo. It's really not. If you do like all the modules, you do GDW and you do the final exam properly, but you have to get perfect on the final exam. You'd pass with like a 60. However, these assignments, like, well, if you want to like if you want to just skip assignment 1 and assignment 2, Abdallah, like, my point was more the assignments do matter in the long run, even though they seem like small amounts. They do matter, because in the end, the assignments will also contribute to your GDW. These assignments will like help. Like, these assignments are teaching you to use the framework, and I believe your last GDW project is using the framework. Yeah, so and that's the one, that GDW assignment 3 is the one you're getting marked for by us. Like, I'm going to be going in and marking your GDW assignment 3. And as this, I'm going to be going in and marking your where is it? Here it is. So James will give us 10% of your final grade. James will give us 10% of your final grade. 7.5% of your final grade. We need 50. We need a video from you guys. And then another 7.5 is your final report. But yeah, this is important. I don't know if everybody saw this. I hope everybody saw this. Dr. Hogue was making like announcements about it all like the first little bit of school, but if you don't do this stuff right here, oh, never mind, it's too late. It's way too late. But yeah, 45% final grade is not fun. I'm telling you now. My group did it in 1. It's very normal. I'm gonna be honest. I don't want to normalize it, but like, it's normal. It happens. But yeah. Anyways, this is not syllabus going over day. Syllabus going over day is like months ago. But yes. So we're gonna start with the assignment. I'm gonna stop getting distracted. It's been, a little over a half hour now. So it is time. We've only got 40 minutes. I actually have to like go the instant it gets close to 11, because I'm administering an in-class assignment for my next class. And they get 3 hours to complete it, and if I'm not there on time, they don't get to start it. And that takes away from their time, which isn't fair to them. But yes, thank you for the good luck. And yeah, no, and I completely agree, Natasha. It's not a good thing. There are a lot of places that do not do crunch as much. For example, Ubisoft Toronto is pretty good with it. And this is coming from someone I know that actually works there full time. Crunch is pretty good. Ubisoft is okay with it. They're not amazing. No, not by any means. There's still that there's always Like the issue with crunch is that it's ingrained in the workplace culture, and if for example, like even if your studio offers like you can take as many days off as you want and not be penalized. Um if your studio offers that, you're going to get, well, you're going to get death glares from your coworkers. Like, your coworkers are not going to be happy. Like, your coworkers are going to be very upset with you if you keep taking days off during crunch, because any work that you don't do gets dumped onto another employee. So it's ingrained within the culture. So basically, it's kind of like you know, like the way that you know, it's kind of like your neighbor keeps an eye on you, quote unquote. Like basically, like it's that social fear. It's not even like that crunch is like forced in certain like companies. It's the social fear. If you decide to, you know, not crunch and stay home, even though it's allowed, your you know, your coworkers are going to be mad at you, which sucks. But yes, we're starting assignment 2 now. So the first requirement, and I'm going to remember exactly what time. Okay, 16 minutes 40 seconds. Okay. Can someone write that down for me? 16 minutes 40 seconds. Like, just put it in the Discord or something, just so I can link it in like the video description, just so everybody like just so like you can't just like skip that, you know. Okay, so assignment 2. So the first thing, you know, we're gonna create a brand new scene, and we're gonna satisfy the following requirements. It doesn't need to be a brand new scene. You can build off the ones from the tutorials. But our first requirement is to build simple 3D puzzles. Sorry, not the simple 3D, simple physics puzzles. And these should rely on 2D transformations and demonstrate the use of various shapes appropriately. So basically what we want here is 2D transformations. You guys have just started learning about matrices. I'm not sure if you guys have done I can't remember, homogeneous transformation matrices or anything like that. Yet, but you guys will be very, very, very soon. Matrices are confusing. They're confusing, and just be prepared for that. I will say that you do not have to implement them, luckily for you guys. And if you ever, say for example, you're bad with math, but you understand programming better, or you understand like code better, I highly recommend going into the this one. I highly recommend going into the, there is a, it's a matrix. I highly recommend going to GPC, but there's also a matrix class. And it includes explanations of all the math. Like for inverting a matrix, if we assume it's a homogeneous transformation matrix, we can do it faster. or getting the regular inverse. The inverse is just equal to, it's dA negative B negative C, etc. But yes, we can continue the conversation about crunch afterwards. But for now, we should definitely pay attention to the outline. I know that crunch and talking about Smash is a very interesting topic, but yeah, definitely, this is definitely important. No, it's okay. No, it's no. It's all right. No need to apologize. I'm just making sure that you guys are paying attention. Because it's better to be paying attention now and have questions later than to not be paying attention at all and not have answers for your questions. But yeah, so it relies on 2D transformations. So things like you can rotate, can scale, you can set the position. So scaling, shearing, translation, rotation. Shearing, it's mentioned in here. I'm not sure if it's really going to be used. I can't personally see 2D arrays. Yes. Yes. They're already implemented. Like, you don't have to implement them. Like, it is a two-dimensional array for the matrices, but they're already implemented. All of it's already implemented. But shearing, I can't see being super useful, if I'm honest. I can see scaling and translation and rotation being super useful, especially if you're using different like shapes and stuff. Shearing is like, here, I'll find an example. No, not sheep shearing. So it's the process of like shearing it is like your original object to shear in the X direction, shear in the Y direction, shear in both directions. It creates a different result. It distorts it basically. Kind of like italicizing an image, I guess, would be an interesting way to say it. Well, yes. Shearing is not like, there's no function for shear, personally. So, but yes, that is. What exactly would that be used for? There are some games that actually use like they use it to distort the world, kind of. It's an already so you're already using your transformation matrix to represent the object in world space, so the math is already done for you. Like, it's already in there. How are these puzzles supposed to work? Okay, that is a good question. So I was gonna get to that. So currently you have squares, rectangles, circles, and then we're going to be going over creating convex polygons. We do not want concave. I will tell you, concave has issues. Concave does not like. There's a reason why Dr. Hogue doesn't ask for concave, and that's because concave polygons are bad. Physics does not like concave. But, like, for example, you could make This. You could make a pentagon, and that would be considered your concave polygon for the effects of this. But yeah. So these puzzles, you could do something like, I'll pull up Paint. So, in the tutorial, you basically create this. In the tutorial, I have you guys create a world. So this is the player. Hi, guys. He's very happy. That's the player. Now you have a little ball. So imagine that, for example, there's a block here. Gavin taught me very well. You're right. But imagine that the ball is very big. But imagine, you know, obviously in class, like, the requirement is, hey, must use transformations to solve the puzzle. Let's say this area is, like, this entire area is blocked off. And there is this big wall right here. So what you could do is you could scale this ball down and push it through. And over here, because it would roll over here into the wall, over here you could have a trigger, which I'll be teaching you guys about next week. Over here you could have a trigger that makes this wall disappear. So if you scale this down and then roll the ball, and it triggers this and makes this wall disappear, now you can walk this way. And that's a puzzle. That right there is a puzzle. The player has all the pieces. They need to figure out, hey, I need to scale this ball down so I can push it in between this hole. And that's it. That's a puzzle. That can't be your entire puzzle. That can't be like everything. You can have multiple small puzzles, or you can have a big puzzle. That's completely up to you. But I'm expecting at least 2 puzzles. Like, if you do small puzzles. Yes, you need to shrink the ball using transformations to make it continue. Or you could have a box. That, like, an immovable box, a static box. And you could need to, like, you need to get past this, right? So if you use your rotation ability, you can just rotate this to 90 degrees. It's no longer an issue when it's like this. Now you can just walk right under it. And those are cool ways to use, like, your transformations and create new, like, you know, puzzles. But you can basically make it so, like, only certain things are, like, interactable. Like, you can, you know, and I'll probably touch upon that near the end. Near, like closer to the due date. Like, so next week's tutorial, like, for the 4th, is going to be about triggers and stuff. And I'll probably have you guys write something like this, where you guys make a wall disappear. And then the week after that, I'll probably make it so we can create interactables and stuff. Yes, basically. Yeah. You can use different textures to show that. So in order to rotate and shrink, we can touch... Yeah, You can touch the separate you can touch the object or have a separate manual keyboard press. So next week I'll be teaching you guys about triggers and contact listeners. And the contact listeners will be important because then you can actually check if two objects contact. And you can actually filter out contacts. So you can actually tell, hey, this right here is the player, and this right here is an interactable object. The player has interacted with an interactable object, so we're going to store a reference to this object's body in here. If that makes any sense now. It should be manual shrinking. It should be manual shrinking. But I will tell you guys now, you cannot resize these. You cannot resize boxes. Once you have created the physics box, you will not be able to resize it. That is an issue with Box 2D, I believe. I attempted to find a way to do it. There is no way to do it. You can, however, resize these. You can change the radius, and it'll change the physics body. What? Oh. Sorry, I just got an email saying a bill couldn't be processed from TELUS, and I'm with Freedom. So that's a thing, and also my parents pay it. Sorry, no, I got an email from something saying like no bills, like it's like we can't read your payment information. And I'm like, did I sign up for TELUS when I wasn't paying attention or something? But yeah, yeah, I would hope that you guys would like this assignment. But once a box, the big thing is that once a box has been created, it's not possible. I very much looked into it. Like when I was implementing the physics draw stuff, it was not possible. This is possible though. This is possible. Can you destroy the box? Yes. Yes? Question mark? Yes. You should be able to destroy the... You could theoretically destroy the box and then remake it. Just remake it smaller. The issue is you'd be doing that every frame if you're scaling it. You can scale the graphics, but you can't scale the physics body, basically. Hypothetically, you can scale a box. But I would recommend you work around the idea that you can't. Would highly recommend that. Basically, the reason why you can't scale a box is because it's a polygon. Because of the way Box 2D stores the polygons, there is no way to change the height and width because there is no height and width stored in a polygon. In Box 2D, they don't store height and width. What they do is store arbitrary points. So I guess theoretically you could move the points inwards. I didn't try that, but it's possible you could do that. So you can't scale anything with more... Well, you can't scale anything with... You can't scale any polygons, is what it seems. I'm going to look into it, and I will get back to you guys next week. Because I just thought of something that might work. I'm not actually sure if it's accessible, but it could work if it is. I'm sure there's a backdoor way. That's what I'm looking into. I'm looking into making a backdoor way that's safer and won't break Box 2D for you guys. I'm looking into making like I'm planning on making like something that'll scale the um the graphics as well as the physics at the exact same time, so you guys don't have to make sure to pay attention, and it'll use the exact same values. It's just not I have to write an algorithm for it to make it work. Exactly, the real polygon was inside you all along. But yeah, so you could make like these are puzzles that you can make, and you can make any puzzle that you want. This is all up to you. This is completely open. This is whatever you want to do. And I will be teaching you about these next week. However, I highly, 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 highly recommend starting now. Use the tutorial that I've done and make and make a world. Like design a world. Start I don't know, concept your puzzles. If you really want to go into the discussion board that I made and post a picture like this that you've drawn, do it. Like do it, please. Like that's what I want. Exactly. Concept your puzzles. You need a concept. You need a solid concept. Um and I just want you guys to have a starting point. If you guys don't have a starting point for the assignment, you guys can't start the assignment. And if you guys don't concept the puzzles early, it's not going to go well. Like you're just going to end up with like bad puzzles in the end, you know? Do you think the squares would like being sheared? I wouldn't like being sheared personally, so no. But try not to focus on shearing specifically. Shearing is a very niche transformation. It's not used much. You can use it, and but the only big thing is you'll need to implement it. It's not currently implemented. I can implement it next week if there's enough demand for it, but shearing is not a thing. And low key, the expectation is kind of that you guys are implementing things. But I made it so like this is more. Who made the game with the little pink blob? That is Isaac and Nazifa. Isaac is the guy that currently has his camera on. Isaac has informed me that he is fully willing to help like people, right, Isaac? He's willing to answer questions for people. I'm assuming I'm not going to make any assumptions about Nazifa. If Nazifa would like to help people, absolutely. If Nazifa wants to also give pointers on because I know Nazifa you did the animations. If you want to give pointers to people on the animations, how you did them so well, because your animations were extremely smooth. I liked them. I liked them a lot. Granted, I haven't looked at a lot of other people's. This isn't like a commentary on anyone else's animations. I've just seen theirs, and theirs were very smooth. This is not a commentary on anyone else's. But yeah, absolutely. Those two definitely did extremely well, and they were done extremely early. I remember Isaac asked me if his team could do a vertical platformer, and he asked me 2 weeks before the due date, and he was like, "We're already basically done. We've already gotten all the stuff working. We just need to make the level." And I was like, "Okay." So that's a good thing. They were definitely they were definitely done. I actually showed it to one of my friends. I showed it to Spratly, and me and him both agree. That's GDW 3. That's GDW 3. That's That's the kind of like that's the level of effort that we expect from your GDW submission. That right there, what they have submitted, that's what we're expecting from that. Because you have about the same amount of time for your GDW submission. You have about the same amount of time. Like you have about a month, give or take. You have about a month, and so we're expecting something at that level of effort, at that level of, we're expecting something. But yeah, but like like as long as Isaac and Nazifa are willing to answer questions, I highly recommend using them as a resource. They did extremely well. I'm no grades are released right now, but I will say they did extremely well on the assignment, like extremely well. I have marked theirs, so yes, they did do extremely well. So, and that's the thing, Ricardo. Making a puzzle game is fun. It's cool, and you could use your assignment too as a build, like as an initial starting position for that. And you can start like programming in different functions that are going to help you make those puzzles. But next week I'm going to be helping you guys write triggers and contact listeners, which will allow you guys to start creating actual puzzle triggers. Like we'll actually make it so, like, for example, you can have it so you can check if a box moves, if like your button moves. Like let's say you make a button and you just make it a box. If that button moves, then you're going to count it as like interacted with using the contact listener. And you can make it do things. Like you can make it so you run into a box and count it as a button. Or jump on a box and count it as a button. But yeah. You can put like, I don't know, it won't necessarily animate, but it's cool. But yeah, on to the next thing. This is something that I requested. Originally, it was going to be you guys were going to be writing your own physics system from scratch to do all this. And given how last assignment went, I definitely want you guys to keep using Box 2D. And Dr. Hogue agreed. Once I gave my reasoning. But Box 2D, this is what you're going to be using for your GDW games for this semester and next semester. Next semester is also in the framework, just so you guys know. The entire semester is in the framework. Not Essential Math 2. Essential Math 2 is completely separate from this class. It's no programming. Essential Math 2 has 0 programming. However, your TA will, if your teacher is the right teacher, your TA will more than likely be a personal friend of mine. Your teacher will more than likely be, I know he's applying for the position. He is the former GPC president before me. No, Hogue does not teach it. Hogue only teaches a 1 course next semester, and it's Advanced CG, and that's a 4th year course. Yeah, it's sad. It's really sad. However, I will tell you, for the most part, his office hours are pretty open. Like, I was always going to his office hours, even though I didn't have him as a teacher. He's always there to help. Like, if you have questions about your GDW or your programming, or you just need help, obviously he's going to prioritize the people that are in his class. Like, if you're not in his class and someone in his class shows up, he's going to have to tell you, like, you got to go. This person is actually in the class. But until that point, he's going to help you, which I think is very fair of him. But yeah, So I hope you guys understand this better now. I hope you guys understand like what the requirements of the assignment are. Oh, I don't know why it minimized. But I hope you guys understand better what the requirements of the assignment is. Last but not least, though, this is the what's it called? This is the bonus. That's how it is almost every single time, Michael. Except for business teachers. Business teachers just hate you. But yeah, I do only have 10 minutes left, so I do want to get through this bonus as well. But closed chain with constraints. So in box 2D, there are these things. See, you'll see this. See, I was trying to implement the actual one. Box 2D draw, get body you're drawing. It wouldn't tell me anything. But there's this thing. Chain shapes. So these are for bonuses. Here, I'll move myself down. There you go. But these are chain shapes. We want closed loops. The requirement for this is closed loops. I will not be showing you guys how to do this. This is not something that I will be showing you at all. And because it's a chain shape, it will deform on itself kind of like a blob. This game actually uses box 2D. I'm almost positive of that. But so this blob, see how it deforms with the world? You don't have to have any of these power-ups. Just I hope that's obvious. But this blob deforms because all it is it's what's known as a soft body. I believe this game uses box 2D though. Actually, I don't know if you guys know this, but Unity uses box 2D. Really? But yeah, Unity uses box 2D for their 2D stuff. Unity uses I think it's a slightly modified version of box 2D, but I know it's box 2D. I'm almost positive of that fact. So box 2D is industry standard. It's very well done. It's easy to use. It is a standard. It's not fun to install. But yes. Box 3D. There's a few like that. It's not box 2D though, but there's one that Dr. Hogue will show you in what class did he show us that in? He showed us a 3D one. He did not show us. I don't remember what it was called, but he did show us one. But yeah, see, so the chain, chain shape. So what you want to create a closed chain with constraints. So this is completely up to you. You don't have to do this at all. This is for the people that want to go above and beyond and want to challenge. You can create a little blob that the character has to push around. Or a little like slime puddle that the character has to push, like jump on and push down into a hole. Something like that. Anything. You don't have to. You don't have to. The whole point of it is that it's completely bonus. It is only for the students that want more. But so initial D. But basically this is like it's completely up to you. I think it could be cool if you already enjoy like what you did and you finish early, because this assignment is by no means like, as long as you start now, it's not going to take too long. It's not going to take forever. It's not going to take forever. And last but not least, before I have to go, the things that we're going to be handing in. So I noticed with the last assignment, there was a lot of garbage files. Like, some of you guys were complaining that your uploads were taking like upwards of an hour. That was because your files were like, the one person I downloaded was 5 gigabytes, which isn't fun for me to download and probably wasn't fun for you to upload. So, yeah. If that happens again, there will be docked marks. I didn't tell you guys for the last assignment to do that, but this assignment I am telling you guys to pay attention to the thing that I posted. And if we go to home, and we scroll down, so this is the sticky. This is a sticky area. Guide for sending VS projects. I have given an entire 9-page guide, step by step, with every single picture. Every single picture. It's actually 8 pages. I don't know why this ninth page is just empty. I'm going to be honest. I wrote this one last year when I wasn't the TA. I wrote this one because the TA refused to give them any guidelines on how to submit projects. So I made this and gave this to them. I emailed this to Dr. Hogue when I wasn't the TA. I made a lot of diagrams and PDFs when I wasn't the TA. The TA was not great last year. He was a computer science teacher. But anyways, yeah, so please ensure that you have followed that. If you do not follow that, I will be docking you marks, and I don't want to dock you marks. Like, you will be losing marks on your video quality section, because that's like the easiest place to take away marks. Like, if you don't fill it up properly, I'm willing to, like, if you don't, like, because it is step by step with pictures, and if you do not upload it, the TA for programming is never good. It's never good. It wasn't good last year either. But if you guys don't upload it like properly with like the following the thing, you'll probably lose about 5 marks. 5 marks out of, like, 47. That's not horrible, but that's like 10% just about. Don't lose that for something you could easily do with an extra like 5 minutes of work. And last but not least, the video must be uploaded to YouTube or Google Drive. Don't include it in your folder, please. Yeah, 5 minutes of work that saves you 30 minutes of uploading. As well as uploading it to YouTube, you can actually, like the way that I actually do the tutorials is I open up YouTube and I go in, ignore like all the politics stuff. But I actually go to YouTube. This is my actual, like, this is the place where I upload. But I go into YouTube and, like, you press on like upload video. We're just gonna press on a random like that. But while it's uploading and processing, oh, and I understand that, Ricardo, but the hour-long video that I took, the hour-long video that I took for Box 2D, like, this video is 1 hour and 6 minutes. The video is 1 hour and 6 minutes. By the way, this is the final product. This is what you do in the end. But yeah. But like, baloney, man. But like, So this is an hour and 6 minutes. It took about an hour and a half to upload. It's 1.23 gigs. But like, so it'll process in the background. The moment it finishes uploading, what you can like, even before it finishes uploading, like if I go, I'm gonna delete this. Delete. Delete. Create upload video. So if I go up here to videos, I'm gonna choose a big one. So the after assignment chat. Actually, wait. Why don't I just actually? Okay, this video is done.